It's time for tea with the Queen. And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben. This is a Netflix original series I'm eager to talk about. Jump down in the comments below. Let me know, have you heard of Bridgerton? What is your favorite period piece? Do give us a thumbs up. It helps loads in the analytics. But for now, let's jump into the review. Wealth, lust, and betrayal set in the backdrop of Regency-era England, seen through the eyes of the powerful Bridgerton family. So this series is 8 episodes long. The last episode is epic. It's an hour and 10 minutes long, but the others are all an hour long, so it's some time to invest to. They're epically long episodes, not the normal 45 minutes, but when on Netflix you get to choose how long you want them. First things I should say, I'm a 40-year-old man, I'm a writer, I write for a games company, I'm an author, I love fantasy, Marvel, heroes, all of that. So when reviewing content on Netflix, which is obviously my YouTube channels, The Ruby Tuesday, we do loads of reviews here. I do some stuff with my wife, which is, I really appreciate her helping me with that. This is not normally the demographic or the themes that I go for. I'm not a huge fan of period pieces. So when approaching this series, I kind of settled down and kind of put my mind in, like, hey, we're watching this. It might not be your favorite, but you can do it, man. This is for your fans. This is for the people that watch your channel. They need to know. And surprisingly, I really enjoyed it. There are 3 things that make this series unique for me, which is why I think I liked it more than other period pieces like Emma, Downton Abbey. I know Downton Abbey is high regard, and I've seen the movie, I've watched some of the episodes way back when I did a review with my sister who loves Downton Abbey, so you can check that out on the channel. But there were things that stood out for me in this series. The dialogue, for one, is way quirkier and way funnier than I expected it to be. It's also very tight, and I appreciate that in script lightning. Wow, script lightning. In scripting and dialogue, I really appreciate it when it's not drawn out, when it's fast, not like fast speaking, but it keeps the pace going, so you don't feel like you're always waiting in the room. There isn't a massive amount of mise-en-scene. They're not showing absolutely everything. It just keeps the flow really well. Then there's the costume design, which I thought was epic, and it's not something I usually talk about in a review. The last time I talked about costume design was in The Expanse, the Amazon original series. Now, there's a lady in there that has the most fantastic, lavish costumes, and you can't help but look at them. Your eyes are drawn to them. In this series, it's a standout point because the color saturation seems to be heightened up. The costumes are all very vibrant and bright. Where other series of period pieces like this, you do get color in costumes, but it always seems to have a filter or it's downgraded somewhat. Here it's a standout. They want to express or show the colors. They want it to be lavish. They want it to be bright and full of life. And that's what you get in this series, and it's definitely a standout point. The costume designs are fantastic. The hair pieces are ridiculous. The Queen has this most amazing hair pieces. There is anything from jewelry, everything you see on it seems perfectly done, but also lavish, and that's what they were going for. Lavish, bright and bold, to kind of set you in the mood. So although it is kind of set in London, it's a brighter London. The other thing is that there are multiple ethnicities, and that took me a little bit by surprise because that's not normally what you get in a period piece like this. And the reason why I'm bringing it up, because it felt natural. They don't really point it out, it just is. And I think that's the way series should be. Even though that's not accurate to how history is, it's a nice thought that would have been. Maybe future generations, that will be the thing when looking back. But that's the thing that kind of stood out to me, and I went, yeah, this is excellent. Well done, guys. Then there is the characters that you follow in the storyline, which is obviously the main point of the whole story. But there's this driving force by the name of Lady Whistledown, who basically shares all of your information, your dirty garment. She knows the secrets of everybody in society, high society. She's always talking about what the Queen has done, what this family is up to, the little things they're trying to hide. She seems to know everything. And so everybody wants to find and put a stop to her, the Queen also. And so you have this investigation bit from you as the viewer, as well as somebody else in the series kind of investigating, trying to figure out who Lady Whistledown is. I'm going to do a separate video to explain that, the ending kind of spoiler, so don't worry, that won't be done in here. And so we have this romantic story, and it is very romantic. The series feels like it's two halves as well. So the first half, the first 4 episodes, feel much lighter in tone. There is a lot of comedic moments, comedic dialogue that I actually found myself laughing at, which I was very surprised by. But at that point, you're not really invested into the characters. You have to wait to the second half where they start doing things like really spending time on those side characters. So the first 4 episodes kind of sets up the story. You understand the family, understand about the courts and the political stuff that goes on with the Queen and the political houses, as in, who is higher than the other, and it's all about looks and how you present yourself. You have to love a certain person. You don't really get to choose love. Who you are is who you are. Male and female have very different, I guess, uses for their bodies, and that is very much stressed in this series. So they show what it would have been like living in society like that very well, and there's a bit of bashing heads to some females who don't want to live by those rules or find it difficult. And the same for the guys; they have to be a certain way, and it shows that all about society in the time, places you in the zone. So you have that kind of drawing in the first 4 episodes. The latter 4 episodes really starts dealing with those side characters. We have a few flashbacks. We have moments that really give weight to certain characters. For example, the Queen. For the most part, she's just this person that seems like she's a puppeteer and she's controlling everybody's lives for the fun of it, right? And she sits on her throne or her big chair in her lavish gowns or lavish hair, and you're like, wow, I don't like her. She seems like she's not a really nice person. And then there's like a minute scene which completely exposes her background, gives so much more weight to her character. And then you're like, oh, okay, I kind of like her now. And so you understand it, and they don't spend massive amounts of screen time, but that 1 minute does so much more to elevate that character. And so I have to say that the editing of this series is done so well, because they do that through flashbacks. They don't spend massive amounts of time on it. They just have a very clever way of editing in story background for your characters. And that's not just for the main protagonist, it's also for some of the side characters. My one negativity, and it's not really a negativity, it's just something that I would have liked. In Downton Abbey, you have the stories of the main cast up top, and then you have the servant story below. In this series, there was very little time given to the help, and there's a hell of a lot of help. The servants, the drivers, all of that. You see people dotted around everywhere, helping these people put on their gowns, that kind of thing, throughout the episodes. And I would have liked to have seen a bit more story to that side. I think that's something that they can draw in for the second season, which I presume there's going to be. That's like the side nickel. That's obviously not the story that they wanted to focus on. This story, they focused on the Bridgertons and the kind of the people around their life. And it is a very interesting love story. I thought it was very well done. It was interesting watching a couple of the episodes with my wife. There was a moment when the credits rolled, and we both just look at each other and it's like, why can't they communicate? Because obviously we've been married let me get this right, 18 years? 18 years, I believe. And we've learned to communicate. And there's this young couple that you just want them to finally talk it out. If they just communicated, they'd be okay. And then obviously then the series would end, because the main dialogue stuff that the writers are cleverly keeping you engaged with, because it's like a thing that like a donkey going after the carrot that's just in front of him. You never quite reach the carrot though until they want to give it to you, and that's obviously a script writing technique that they use. And so you have these moments with the couple, or the main arc couple, Simon and the Duke and the Diamond Lady from the Bridgertons. They are the main focus throughout the story, and you want them to work things out. You want them to have that conversation that they need to have. And then as they are about to, there will be somebody that'll knock on the door, or somebody will interrupt. It's always that is the driving key that kind of pushes on the story. And it can get somewhat frustrating, but it does keep you wanting to find out what's going to happen. And there's that kind of technique used. It's very well done. The score as well, they use classical music that I thought was excellent. It's very well-known pieces, and it always heightens the sense rather than overbears. So there's there are segments which are important, a big dance, a moment that people need to look into each other's eyes in slow-mo, or big crescendo type of music, accompanied pieces, orchestral movements that you will recognize, even if you don't like classical music. It's the type of pieces that you probably will recognize, and it's done very well, so I appreciated that. All in all, this is a very interesting series. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much. I'm definitely not the demographic for this, and yet I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought every episode was great. I thought the actors did a phenomenal job. I don't want to go through the list of actors they are, because I'd be standing here for about 5 minutes, and that's boring to you, right? But the actors in this are fantastic. It's from the producers of Shondaland, or the production company Shondaland. They have been doing drama for a long time. I think they started out doing Grey's Anatomy, and they've honed their craft into storytelling with drama, kind of soap style. That's definitely this in a period piece, as well as an investigation for who is Lady Whistledown. I thought that was a very interesting way to go. Definitely feels like there's going to be a second season. Do let me know who you think is Lady Whistledown. I'll talk about that in the second I'll talk about that when I'm doing spoilers. Who's your favorite character, and what episode, I guess, or storyline did you like the most? Love to know. Chat to me in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.